Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me here on Chicago Reacts. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to be watching How It Feels to Suffer in SFM by LazyPurple. So this is going to be a behind the scenes video about how he creates some of his How It Feels videos. So I've been told to react to some of these behind the scenes stuff and to react to this one. I'm really excited to see how he makes these videos happen. Because I think that it's fascinating. I love his videos. I think they're really, really well done, and it's really cool to see how he puts them together. So I'm really excited to get into it. Before I do, just make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the little notification bell if you would love to. It helps us out. If you'd like to become a Patreon, I'll have some more information about that at the end. And we are gonna now watch How It Feels to Suffer in SFM. I'm gonna get to see how LazyPurple does his stuff. I'm very excited about it. So let us begin. Wink.
So you like Halloween, huh?
Yes.
You like using the silly spells in Team Fortress 2? Well, so do I. But isn't Halloween supposed to be scary? Then what's with all this having a good time bullshit? Listen, man, for your sake, I hope you don't do it. But if you really want a scary time, drop TF2 for a bit and visit its deranged cousin over in the software section. Source Filmmaker!
Oh my god! Trolls 2, okay. So that's fun.
This program haunts me in my dreams, and I know it's trying to kill me. But the amount of glitches I experienced while making How It Feels to Play Engineer, I'm telling you, this shit's possessed! Gather round, all of you. This Halloween, I've a frightful story for you. The story of the time I had to add the Wrangler to a Source Filmmaker scene. My story starts with a prayer. Please, Valve, please update Source Filmmaker so that it doesn't use a 2008 version of TF2. Why do you curse me to manually animate things as simple as picking up engineer buildings and using the Wrangler? But they only responded with Dota Counter-Strike. I didn't understand.
I don't understand.
So onwards I pressed to manually animate the Wrangler. The Sentry Shield is simple enough, it's its own model. But this god-forsaken laser! This laser has stolen so many hours of my life that I'll never get back. How, you ask? Listen to my tale of woe. I began by importing the laser, but alas, it was pink! That's not right, it needs to be red. So I googled how to color it. Turns out that it's controlled by what I like to call Source Spaghetti. But first, a quick explanation. This is a control point.
Okay.
It represents a point in space and can be used to move and rotate objects. Particles usually have very simple control points. Medic's beam has 2 control points, one for where the beam starts and one for where it ends. However, the Wrangler laser has this 3rd control point that controls its color?
Okay.
And this is where the Source Spaghetti starts.
Sounds like.
This control point's positional X, Y, and Z coordinates correspond to the laser's red, green, and blue values using a scale of -255 to +255, which necessitates the equation X times 2 minus 255, where X is the RGB value that you want. What? You didn't get that? That's because it makes no fucking sense!
I thought it might be because math. But I like to know that it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. That's all I do.
Even if you don't get it, I got it. However, no matter what I did with Control Point 2, the laser's color never changed! Well, I said, this isn't my first rodeo. Surely I can fix this in a jiffy. But how wrong I was. Firstly, I went into the particle editor to see if there was a color value in there. Eureka! There was! But no matter what you do to it and its surrounding values, nothing happens. Then I wondered, just a moment, the laser is pink. And when a texture is missing in Source, the default replacement is pink and black. Maybe the particle's texture is missing or broken. So I asked all throughout town if someone could please lend me their version of every file related to this laser. I imported them into my directory and it was still pink! By then, I was banging my head against my keyboard and finally decided that it's time to concede and verify the integrity of the game cache. Reinstall the whole program and deal with all the bugs that causes. But even then, it was still pink!
Oh my god!
At this point, I couldn't help but think, ha! All all this wasted time being a perfectionist when I could just use a different laser? So I installed this
Is it gonna be pink? Is it also gonna be pink?
custom laser from the workshop that is supposed to be a Star Wars blaster. It's a model instead of a particle, so it took a while to customize it. It doesn't look great, but it works, right? Wrong! When the camera looks at the laser from certain angles, it just disappears! Then I tried using this laser particle, and I don't even remember what happened with this one, but I assure you it didn't work! So, we're back to this laser. After brainstorming with other SFM villagers, I imported the laser into a different map and realized, what the fuck? Why is it blue on this map? And that's when it hit me. Every map has a different default point where things load in when they have no other point of reference. You can see here that Badwater's default point is somewhere below Red Team's spawn. It has no rhyme or reason. The Wrangler laser has been loading in and using the default point on the map for its control point 2 value.
All right, wow. I mean, already I'm, again, more impressed than ever that he kept actually sticking with this and continuing on and trying to figure this out and managing to do it. That's, I'm not really one for giving up, but I probably would have, honestly. I mean, also editing software, I've used like Final Cut Pro 7 and 10, and that is about the extent of the editing software that I have ever managed to use. So this SFM thing seems highly confusing and bad. So the fact that his videos are as amazing as they are, if this is the kind of issue that he has to deal with every single time, just like all the kudos. Like seriously, cheers.
It's a different color on every map, but it doesn't change no matter what I do. So I figured, all right, my program is successfully reading the control point 2 value, but just not changing it.
Okay.
Alax friend, can you please take my SFM project, move control point 2 to make the laser red, and then send it back to me? He promptly sent me this in response. That's right, his computer couldn't even handle the project, so he had to make a new project that was just the laser on Badwater, which I then had to import into my project, which is its own scary, unintuitive process. But finally, here we are. It works. Despite reinstalling the program, despite verifying the game's cache, despite replacing the particle files outright, my control point 2 is just irreversibly broken. My theory, there's a ghost in my machine. But hey,
Especially because all of this for just a moment in the video too. Good Lord. I mean, I've sat down and edited for 6 hours or whatever to get like a 2-minute video, but like that was fine. that was very different than all of this nonsense going wrong over and over and over again. Good Lord, the tenacity of this man.
hey, at least it worked eventually, right? But that's not the only thing I had to do manually.
God.
Once a sentry gun is placed, it stops being a gameplay object and just becomes part of the scene. That means that I have to manually control its shooting, which means manually adding each individual muzzle flash. That's right, I had to copy and paste like 50 sets of these muzzle flashes and then manually tell the program, this muzzle flash occurs 1/20th of a second later, and this muzzle flash occurs another 20th of a second later, and this muzzle flash occurs another 20th of a second later, and this muzzle flash occurs another 20th of a second later, and this muzzle flash occurs another 20th. Then, after doing that, I have to lock each particle to the barrels of the sentry gun.
You know what? If all of that is how this particular video went, and if this is any kind of thing how the rest of them kind of go, I understand why the medic one hasn't come out yet. This is nuts.
Individually.
I'm gonna drink.
Truly
to
nothing comes for granted in this program. You'd think that adding Uber charge would be a simple process, but it isn't. The default Uber in SFM is broken for some reason and always flashes like it's about to end. So you have to go download some cube map fixes. Thank you so much, SFM community, and put those in the right directory. Looks good to me. But what about the weapons? And the hats? Huh? That's right, you have to manually change every single model's material that you want to be Uber charged. And sometimes it doesn't even work. Not only is this a time-consuming process, it's semi-permanent. Since you're actually changing the files themselves, scary, you have to be super careful or else you'll be asking yourself later on, why the hell is this pyro like half Ubered here? See these buildings? They're not actually in Source Filmmaker for some reason. They're like ghost buildings or something. I had to manually add replacement buildings myself. Nothing comes for granted in this program.
Yep, I fully understand why the medic thing hasn't been uploaded yet. Especially if the Uber charge thing is that intensive and that wild, we might never get it. And I understand. I get you, dude.
But you want to get really scared this Halloween? Imagine rendering a scene you've slaved over for hours, and it comes out like this. If you ever want to get into SFM, my friend, please remember the acronym ABAF. All beards are fucked. Something about the way these things are textured doesn't mix well with SFM. Usually there's a fix for these beards on the workshop, but I guess not enough people use the grizzled growth? Anyway, at complete random, the beard will become some crazy neon color. And you want to know something funny? It uses the same color as the Wrangler laser uses via the map's default point. Isn't that funny? So what was my solution? Ha! Simple, really. If I render out the glitched frames individually, one at a time, manually, the beard is fine. Sounds simple if not time-consuming. Let's see how many I had to do. 462 individually rendered images just to fix this beard in one scene! And sometimes it's not even consistent. Here you'd think that the color is based on the beard's position, but look at this shit! It's blue in this camera, but green in this camera! Eventually, my friend, I could take no more, and I just asked the guy who fixed the Allfather if he could fix the grizzled growth, which he did! The moral of this scary beard story is, please don't be afraid to ask people for help! Oh, but friend, I've scary stories to spare. Oh, no. Look at this scene. Simple, right? Well, this is what it used to look like! These lights are Satan! They have caused an issue in every video. For the spy video, I spent a full 10-hour day trying to get rid of these lights that would bleed through all the walls. After that day, I knew not to ever try anything with these demon-possessed lights. But in this scene, I had to. I used a program to remove literally every light from the map, and you won't believe it! These lights are Satan!
Yeah, sounds like it.
Eventually, a villager from the SFM Discord discovered that you just have to type ent_fire space env_lightglow space kill in console. What does that even mean? I'm certain that a ghost has possessed my computer, but it doesn't always make itself obvious. Sometimes the glitches are small, like the time that this blood decal's position didn't update when I played the video forward, but it worked when I played the video backward. And then sometimes when I render something, every other frame becomes a blue mess. Definitely a ghost. And half the time I import a custom map, Source Filmmaker just breaks all its lighting. Classic ghost stuff. This one is fixable, but when even the guy making the tutorial says,
"This is the Hammer editor and it honestly terrifies me. I can't do anything with this."
I can't say it makes me very hopeful. Of course, the program does make my life easier sometimes. Spline curves are pretty good at automating some animations, but other times they put the spirit of the devil into my characters.
Add spline curves.
Oh my god, call the exorcist! Look at this sentry. I just want it to go from this to this. A 180-degree turn. It's simple. But for some reason, the program thinks that the most efficient way to do this is a freaking backflip! Back ye demon! Get out of my sentry gun! Thankfully, the program has a built-in stress reliever. Whenever I find myself getting exhausted, I just move the character's pelvis to the beat of whatever music I'm listening to for endless entertainment. Truly countless hours have gone into trying to fix every single little mistake and glitch in all of my videos, but since you've made it to the end of this video, I think I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. There's a mistake in the engineer video, and it will probably ruin your entire perception of it. In this scene where I build a mini sentry on this scout, I don't have the gunslinger equipped in the SFM animation! Ah! Hey, it's me. I have a t-shirt now. You can find a link to it in the description. I also now have a secondary channel, so
Alright.
please subscribe to that as well.
Wow. That is way, way, way worse than I thought it was gonna be. Oh my gosh, that's awful. I know that, like, the tech and computer programming and all that, I know that's really difficult, and I know it's not something that I am good at, but I was not expecting it to be quite that intensely difficult to try and make these videos. I knew a lot of work went into it. I was not trying to discount it earlier, but like, that seems about 40,000 times more difficult than, like, I would have ever anticipated. God. And yeah, like I said, now I understand why the medic video hasn't come out and why it might not. Like, I get it. Makes sense. Like, perfect sense. I wouldn't do it at all. Like, especially if he knows that they had that much trouble with the laser, and then he knows what's happening with the Uber thing. Like, the medic video would be a lot of Uber, I would imagine. So, God. You know? More power to you, LazyPurple. I'm glad that you're still okay with us with making videos and such, because they're really, really cool, and I like to watch them, and I so admire everything about them. And yeah, I admire him even more now. So, like, yeah, there you go. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for telling me to watch this one. It was incredibly informative. I know that I've had a bunch of questions in other videos, and y'all told me to watch this one to answer them out. So thank you so much. I am really glad I saw this. This was fascinating and horrible. Again, thanks again for joining us. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you share this with your friends. If you do want to become a Patreon, you can get some extra content. You can get some longer movie reviews. You can get to take place in polls, and also to help us choose what we're going to watch next. So, and you get some extra information, just, you know, little extra stuff, the normal Patreon thing. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.